on the Mason ISO for just an overnight bikepacking little trip. Yeah, it's been a while because, well, I had some bad family news in terms of medical. So as a family, we've been just trying to deal with it really. Things have calmed down a little bit now, so I've got a chance. But this is the first chance I've had Sunday evening. But it's been really dry, so it should be pretty good when I get up onto the high ground, not too muddy. Bivy night tonight. Yeah, so the whole lot's going to be about 60-65 miles, so not really too far, but I've got to get to work tomorrow, so just trying to squeeze my life into not much time. So it's not too far, but hopefully sometime after Easter or maybe over Easter, get into Wales and do a little trip. But yeah, we'll see about it. But so the bike's pretty much squared away now, but I'm doing a bit of an experiment on the front, as you can see here. So I've got the what's it called, condenser rack under here. Apparently it holds 8 kilograms. I think you can fit a light onto there. 8 kilograms. It goes onto the forks, so it only goes with Mason forks in there. Yeah, so it holds 8 kilograms, which is more than the Trek 1120. Trek 1120's rack is bigger, but it only holds 7 kilograms. This holds 8, but I'm certainly nowhere near that. I've got about just over 2 kilograms, I think, on there. In here, I've got my sleeping bag, which is good down to -5 degrees centigrade, and I got my big 4-inch mat and something else, I can't remember what. Up on top, this is my heavy, it's my winter bivy, but I haven't been in it for a while now, so I just thought I'd bring this one just for the hell of it. But that's 1.2 kilograms, so rather heavy. Nothing really in here. I'm going relatively light. In here I've just got my spare in tube, camera pod, little things like that. I can't think what else is in there. Camera pods, oh, my pole for my tarp. This I've got just to put my tools in. So I've got this reasonably heavy, and I've got quite a lot of spares in here, but that's everything. So that's rear mech hanger, all sorts of stuff going in there into this side entry. Not a very side entry. Oh, come on. And the reason I got that is because I don't have much space here with this bag. A drink down here. Then I've got a 40 ounce, what are these called? Clean canteen. 40 ounce. You can get 32 ounce, but they're exactly the same diameter. It's just that they're insulated. This one isn't. This is 40 ounces, not insulated, so fine for holding water. The thing I don't like about these is the mud and crap gets all up around here. I just want something that's got a lid that's this size, and it's just got some sort of cover over the top just to stop crap getting in there or around the mouthpiece. So you can't really drink out of this. You've got to clean it all off before you're going to use it. It's a little bit not ideal. Nothing on the forks. And then this here is my seat pack. You can see there's a bar that runs from this rail, runs up here, and then it goes inside the bag. So you slide the bag onto the rail, and the rail comes up to about here, and it just stops it from going side to side. It's got a little bit of movement this way. I might see if I can stop that somehow. So there's a little bit of rocking that way, but in terms of going off-road, that's quite a nice idea. You just don't get the swaying from side to side. So I'm reasonably like, oh no, I got the rucksack. And in my rucksack I've obviously got my beers, and a puffy jacket, and then camera gear. Really not much else in the rucksack. And in here I've just got my cooking gear and all that sort of stuff in the tailgate there. Yeah, I'm reasonably lightweight. So there, the cycle is up onto the Quantocks somewhere. I may stop before then. I set off at 4. Well, I set off late. I just want to get up there. It's going to get dark at about 7:30, or rather sunsets at 7:30, so dark at about 8. I'm just going to get up there onto the high ground overlooking the world and just chill out. For cooking tonight though, all I've got is a wood burning stove. I'll show it you. It's made of steel, so it's reasonably heavy. I didn't bring my titanium one, which is bigger. But anyway, maybe I'll talk about that later on. But yeah, wood burning stove, and just boil in a bag, boil up some water. I've got a lovely steel pot, which again, not lightweight, so it's not a particularly lightweight setup, you know, with my winter bivvy and etc, etc. I probably could have got away with a smaller sleeping bag, but I don't really care. I just grabbed stuff to come out. I was going to come out a few days ago, packed it all up, but then with the thing that's going on at home, I couldn't make it. So it's gear for the colder conditions, but it's quite pleasant now. And I ask my son, I'm lucky to have set off on time. Well, I didn't, because I set off with my Crocs on, and I got about a mile and a half in before I realised they are not the best for cycling in. And all of a sudden I was thinking, a little bit odd this. Oh, you're joking. Yeah! Gravel at last. Kinda. But I'll be honest, gravel like this is beneath this bike. I don't think this bike even notices it's on gravel.
You waste the sacrifice. It seems sometimes in life. You waste the sacrifice. It seems sometimes in life. And why? And I ask myself why.
I'm not sure this is the right way. Okay, the climbing started now up onto the Quantocks through Bridgewater. Normally I get through Bridgewater really nicely because they got a path all the way down through the canals, so it goes quite well. But I sort of bombed on through, wasn't paying attention, had to backtrack, and then you're getting your phone out, and kind of now I'm behind the curve by a reasonable amount. And I was going to do a load of gravel. I'm not sure I'm going to get time. I don't know. As long as I can get to where I'm going before the sun sets, I want to be able to sit down with a beer and watch sunset go down. That's my goal. And a little trick that I use is to use fingers and put them at arm's length to the horizon, and you can judge. And I would say it's going to be dark, not sunset, in an hour, judging roughly where I think horizon is. So about an hour. So yeah, one finger, 15 minutes. I think I've got the gearing just about right on this bike. So it's 32 on the front and 11.42 on the back. I thought it's 46, it's not, it's 42. But uphill it's just about enough, just about good enough. And on the flat I'm comfortable in the 11th on the back, comfortable at sort of 16-17 miles an hour. Going downhill you spin out and you find yourself trying to shift gear and get an extra gear out of it, but and then climbing just about right. I would maybe want the 46 in there, but actually I think a 42's just about good enough, and I think that's the biggest you can get with the system I've got, is 42 on the back. I'm pretty sure I asked for 46 and they said they couldn't do it. Right, so here's the next reservoir. This is Spaxton Reservoir, I think. I've slept here before, while camped on the side of it. That was an emotional night. Yeah, I've camped just down here. No public access. Ooh. Fishing permit holders only, so that's all changed. You used to be able to have access down there. That's how the world is going. They're slowly cutting us off from being able to do things. Not that it's going to stop me, but right, up in the forest now, forest tracks up to the top. Now I was going to do a load of forest riding now and then straight home tomorrow, but I might reverse that. I might just keep climbing, get to where I'm going to go tonight, and then tomorrow morning have a bit of fun off-road. So this is a sort of big, not big, but it's a quite busy downhill mountain biking area on the Quantocks. It's basically a really steep valley, and then you've got this track which goes up the middle, and then they just drop in from up there and down they come. Now that might be a great test for this bike. However, I know that there are no grandad runs going down there. Now I've been down there on that Scott scale I had, which is a cross bike and not really built for downhill, and I didn't know nothing about downhill mountain biking when I did it. So seeing all these red paint marks on the side on the trees meant absolutely nothing to me, but I worked it out in the end. The faster I got and the less options I had to bail, and I ended up having to bail. Nearly took my head off on a tree as I bailed, and the bike just kept going, hit a jump, but it survived. I'm blown out now, but I'm on track. I got 15 minutes to get the sunset. It's up over this bit. I think I've got about another half mile, and that's it. I'm on the other side of the Quantocks, on the north side. I'll be able to look right and see the sunset going down. Fingers crossed. Probably be some cloud there now. No one up here. It's beautiful. Great place to wild camp. I just wish I lived a bit closer, which is why this bike is great, because I don't mind on the road. I did mind the trek. I did mind going on my Scott scale. Just wasn't that keen on plodding away on a mountain bike. And for climbing, I just prefer this bike as well. I prefer drop bars for climbing, particularly these bars, these Ventura Max. This ergonomic bit up here I finding really comfortable, and I do like this being away from the bars to give you a nice gap there, but I think it's too much. I think they could cut the weight down, just pull it in a little bit. That would pull the weight in a little bit and make the handling a little bit better, because there's too much room there. You don't need all that room. I can't see why you would ever want that amount of room there. Right, 15 minutes, let's go. Oh. Well, this camera won't do it justice, but it's lots of hills, quite misty, and the red sun is just starting to head down. She's got about another 10 minutes. Horizon must be about there. Yeah, about another 10, maybe 15 minutes. Quick look at my watch. Well, 2 minutes, okay. I must have fat fingers. And I think I might head down onto that hillside there. I have to find some wood from somewhere, but I'll show you. It says just a little wood burner to do my food on. I think I'll head down there. Right, good wood saw here. Lots of bits on the ground. And this is the next test of the bike. Okay, for pure entertainment value, and the ultimate test for off-road bike packing in the UK. Oh, blimey. There we go. Ow, 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 ow. Not on the crank. Oh, not on the bolt cage. So it passes the gate test, not with flying colours, or is that just me? Nearly took the bottle cage off. So tonight, Timothy, we shall mainly be sleeping here. Now, I've tried doing this before once. I came up here and it was really windy and quite wintry. Sort of sleet was forecast in the night. I ended up actually sleeping back over there, but I had to bail from here because there is a whole load of cattle. So I'm gonna have to do a quick recce, which I always do when I get somewhere, just to check my six. Nice view, and I'm actually in a little dip here, which is not necessarily good because all the cold air will dip in here, but I don't think it's deep enough to notice that, but it'll keep me out of the wind. Not that I care about the wind in the bivvy that I've got, but yeah, beautiful. Let's have a walk to the end. Great little location because no one can see what I've got down here. No way you can see a bivvy. If I put a tent here, I think it'd be quite obvious. As is probably my voice carrying on a night that's so still. But there we go. So yeah, it's a bit of an overkill for the temperature we're going to get tonight. But I've just been looking forward to sleeping in it because I spent so much bloody money on it. Right, this is my setup. So the bike's down here. I don't think anyone can really see the bike because I've got this little ridge here. People up there may see my light later on, but I think the bike's pretty sweet there. Just tied it up a little bit. But the rig itself, there we go. This ground, it's some sort of cairn, so it's all stony, so you can't really get your tent pegs in. I've tried to pitch a tent here once before, but you don't really have to worry with a bivvy because you've got the weight in there and it's nice low profile. But you can see it's a pretty big bit of kit. There's the hoop. And a Seater Summit Spark SP3, this one, so good down to about -4, -5, something like that anyway. I know I can go down. I only take it down to freezing. I go for the next one up, my next one down rather, in temperature. If I go below freezing, really, or much below freezing. And then a Seater Summit pillow, which is friggin' awesome bit of kit. And then a 4-inch, what is this thing called? Rubbish with names. Yeah, Seater Summit again. Ether Light, I think it is, something like that. But it's a 4-inch pad, and if you're a side sleeper, I think a 4-inch pad is a really smart way to go. I just find it really comfy. I do have a 2.5-inch pad, which is okay. That is a Thermarest, the traditional sort of yellow Thermarest thing that everyone takes. It's just really lightweight. It's great for bike packing. but it's about 2.5 or 2.75 inches. And as a side sleeper, I find that it can be a little bit uncomfortable. I've subsequently realised that you need to take some air out to make it comfortable and not rock hard. But anyway, even that, it's not quite there for me. But if you're going to bike pack and you want to desperate to keep it lightweight, a lot of big miles, then yeah, I would recommend them. But if you're a side sleeper and you can put up with a bit more weight, then I would take this one here. It's maybe 100 grams more, if that, maybe a little bit more actually. But yeah, it makes the world of difference. R value on the Thermarest is 4.2, gets you down nicely below 0, maybe -5 I think. This one's 3.6, gets you down around the freezing level. And I do have an extreme version of this, which takes you down to something crazy like -18, -15. R value of 6 point something, 6.1 or something like that. Anyway, so that's me set up. So food next. I need to get some wood, because I'll get my little stove out and I'll show you. Right, just before the light goes down, talk about a light. This little puppy is rechargeable. Let me get the name. Nightcore. Take a look at it. Nightcore light. If you're going to be bike packing, I think if you're going to be staying outdoors, a head torch is really a top bit of kit. I always make sure I've got a head torch. I do have a little selection of them, being a gearhead. This one is rechargeable. All my others take a battery in them. I like that because obviously you can, without having to worry about charging, if you're going past garages and things like that, you just pick up some batteries and chuck them in, and they're good. And to be honest, if you stick a battery in, the ones that I've got another one about the same size as this where you put a battery in, but you stick a battery in there. It's 2 little AAAs I think it is on that one, and it'll last you 3-4 nights. Really important to get one with a red light. I go and camp sometimes up in Wales at the bottom of Pen y Fan. There's a dried up reservoir there, and you sleep on one side and you think you're all on your own, and you look over the other side of the dried up reservoir where there's a tree line that goes all the way around, and then you see the people's lights flickering around, and I remember seeing a red light, really hard to spot until it's really dark. But you don't get as much, you can't see as much with them obviously. But so this one's a rechargeable one, only because I've got a solar panel that I could take with me, and I like the idea of being able to generate my own energy and light, etc., from a rechargeable, renewable source. Not because it's green, but just because you know, if you went for a multi-day and you were relying on it, then it gives you an option. So the other one I've got, the one with the 2 AAA batteries, about the same size as this, but a red light, really important, and a good strong white light if you can. Yeah, these are great, and I sleep with it around my neck, and I just keep it on just before it gets dark. I always make sure I've got it on me. And the good thing about having it around your neck is that if you do get rumbled in the night, you've got light. And I always keep my wallet and my keys with me whenever I'm sleeping. Right then, now I've got the wood, a little silky saw, Silky 130, Pocket Boy, Silky Pocket Boy. Doesn't weigh a lot, and it is a luxury. But one thing I've learned about while camping is that snapping branches makes a noise and attracts attention. What I've learned with these as well is that you can buy the big ones. So I've got the big boy and I've got the gone boy, which I use for while camping. But those things are seriously dangerous. Now I've dropped the big boy once on me. I dropped it, and in that I just took my weight off it and it just fell on its own weight onto my trouser leg and went through my trousers, and I could feel them my legs getting wet as the blood was running down. They are a nasty bit of kit, so you do have to be really careful. I'm not too worried about this little one, not too much damage I can do with it, but yeah, see, there you go, caught one of the teeth. This is good. Right, let's let that cook down a little bit. Cheers. And this is a beautiful bit of kit. Now, I wouldn't normally get this. Don't know if you can see the name, TBS. Yeah, TBS. So it's stainless steel, and everything just fits. If you have titanium, you put this lid on with a titanium one, all my toques tend to warp a little bit. They're all bent a little bit, and the lid doesn't go on properly. This thing is just solid in, that will not come off. That can sit up or sit down. You've got this, it doesn't flop down. These don't flop around either. It's just a quality bit of kit. But yeah, so I use that a fair bit. A little bit of blood oozing out every now and then from my wound, but we're good. Let that burn down one little bit more and then we're done. Start cooking, and I better get this light off because everyone knows I'm here. Now, if you're going to get the titanium version of this one weighs 500 grams in the little pouch, and the titanium one weighs 315 grams. However, so you save not half, but you know, heading towards half. However, you pay twice as much. So is it worth it? What I should have done, instead of buying the steel small one and the titanium big one, I should have bought the steel big one for wild camping and the titanium little one for bike packing. But there we go. This one is it's not too bad. It's 100 odd grams, 185 grams more, but I don't really care. Nearly boiling, and it's starting to bubble. Beautiful. So tonight we are having goulash. Yum. Goulash, but what I do, I bring a little bit of smash potato and I chuck that in. So 400 mils of water. I've got about 750 mils there, so 400 mils of water for the goulash. A little bit more water and goes in, and put a little bit of mash in there as well. I'm actually close to being out of water. I haven't got enough water for breakfast tomorrow. I've been an idiot. This should hold enough water. However, stupidly, there's a little fire started down here, and I'm really pissed off with myself because what I should have done, so I've burnt a bit of the grass. I should have put some sticks underneath to raise this up off the grass and not burn it, and I've been an absolute idiot. Yeah, smashed potato. Okay, so we're above the line there. I think that's good enough. I always keep the water if there's any washing up. It is a dead still night. The stars are out. There's not a cloud in the sky. There's not a light on the hills, which is good for me. And I think I'm in this lovely little dip. There's no way anyone could see my fire unless they were up on the hills over there or on that side, but there were no lights, and I lit it just after it got dark. So open access, yeah, it means you're allowed access to it, but it doesn't entitle you to camp on it. And the definition of a camp is something with a structure in the UK. And the fact that this bivvy has got a hoop, I think, means that it's technically a structure, which means I'm camping. So I would have to take that hoop out, and then I would be resting and not camping. But yeah, I wouldn't push that one. If I was challenged, I would apologise profusely and move on, because he's been so kind as to let people come and wander around his land. But there we go. What I will do is, because I noticed some rubbish up at the top end there, I will go up there and I will take that rubbish with me, along with my rubbish, when I leave, to apologise for burning his grass. Only a little bit of grass. So good night, I'll see you in the morning for a little bit of off-road on the Mason ISO, and we'll see how it goes. But so far, yeah, the big change I would make to it is I'll get that weight off the bars into the frame. I think it's best served with a full frame bag, although I like having my water down there. Some sort of full frame bag anyway, I think is a smart idea with that, and get the weight off the bars. I'm not that keen on the bag on the back. It does droop a little bit, and it does wobble a little bit from side to side, although the top of it is fairly hard, solid. So yeah, we'll wait and see. But the bag's bouncing around a little bit. I think if I was going to go lightweight, I would put the mudguard on that bike on the front. I'll take the basket thing off, and I'll just use the Salsa bar bag holder. I think that's really good, although it sticks out a little bit too far. I would use that, but if I was going to be loaded up, I would just use the that basket thing that's down on the fork, which I think is very good for holding some weight down there. So yeah, so if I was just interested in bike packing and carrying gear for multiple days, I would take that. But there we go, and I'll go for a bigger frame bag. Right, so see you in the morning. Cheers.
Morning. It's a beautiful morning, although everything is soaking wet out here. So just dew, loads of dew came down last night. Got some condensation inside, so the outside of this was getting really cold. And there's me breathing hot air inside, and I didn't have the vent all the way opened up. So it's got a bug mesh vent, which is not too big, only about sort of that deep. But as soon as I opened that up, that let in loads of air and condensation, all cleared. Really warm night. For me anyway, outside here I reckon it was down at +1, +2. Let's go to the toilet in the middle of the night, and it felt friggin' freezing out here. I can see some little icy bits on the bike there. That's what you get on the clear night. But yeah, really warm inside. This mat, 4-inch thick, is it still gives me a little bit of pain. The thing I don't like too much is it's 4 inches thick, and it gives you a good R value of 3.6. It gets you down to freezing. But as soon as you take the air out of that, and you're effectively getting rid of your R value. So while I'm keen to let as much air out as possible so that my hips and shoulders, etc., have some cushioning, you're just getting rid of insulation if I do too much of that. Right. Might lie here. This is the worst bit, getting out. Here's my little enclave. There it is. Like I say, steel, 500 grams. Get the titanium version, 315. But it's just great, just for cooking on. You just gotta get some wood. But I don't know, it's just something different, and it does keep you warm. Get your legs either side of it. It actually keeps you quite nice and warm from that. But so simple. Yeah, cool. And then done. Put that in this little sleeve and I'm away. I'll pour some water on that, or have a pee on it. Well, there we go, that's my little video complete. So overall, yeah, it's only been about 65 miles, but I don't really care about the miles anymore. All the time it's all about the quality and how much I enjoy doing it. I really enjoyed the ride up, even up the hills, and great fun coming down at the other end. The overnight went reasonably well, everything worked. That bivy is amazing. But yeah, so I learnt my lesson a little bit on condensation. But anyway, trouble with condensation, if you get really wet or you get really sweaty or something like that, yeah, you're gonna go downhill pretty quick. So luckily I woke up, dealt with it, got myself vented out a little bit. I'm gonna have to dry the top of my sleeping bag out a little bit, but there we go, you learn your lessons, don't you? So the bivy was great, the bike was great. I'm not keen on the setup. I've got to take the weight off the bars. Too much weight on the bars. The salsa cage I think is really nice. The cage on the bottom, the condenser rack that Masons sell, I think is really good if you're into that. So I think there's only any point in it if you're going to be really carrying a lot of weight and you need to use that extra height that it'll give you up to the bars and the weight capacity. But it wouldn't be my preference. I'm definitely going to make the number one this salsa cage, just to carry, you know, a couple of kilograms and no more than that. And maybe use the fork bags a little bit more. And I really do need to work out what I'm going to do in that frame, if I'm going to get a full frame bag or not. I don't know, it depends how much you use it, really. The tail end Charlie it's a bit droopy, isn't it? It's a bit droopy, but it's all right. The good thing about it is it doesn't swing from side to side. It rotates a bit, but not a lot. It's all right. I'm quite happy with it.
Anyway, so there we go, another little overnighter. Next I hope to do I'm going to do a proper review on the bike, I think, once I've given it some more rides. And over Easter I hope to go up to Wales and see if I can get something sorted up in Wales, take it out, give it a bit of a rough run for a couple of nights, and I'll do a proper review. So take care.
Only I wonder why. And I ask my son.